So yeah, what was that whole experience like going to BYU, becoming a starter, and then having to deal with the injuries towards the end of your career?
Yeah, it was my career. It was all I knew. It was what gave me acceptance and identity. Something I was good at and felt good at. So it gave me confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the injuries started, so the first one, I've had concussions before that, and they're pretty scary ones. But you know, it's
Like the
just like,
kind where like that, or just like
oh yeah, never went like stiff.
okay,
But blacked out for 30 minutes.
wow,
And just had like a total lapse in my memory, and I'm apparently asking people questions, and I don't recall any of it.
scary.
But no, my first injury was I broke my arm against the University of Hawaii, and it was like the
In Hawaii,
and
to your own.
I was playing against like my old buddies from Pop Warner, like Pai Pai Falemalu, who he tackled me on one of the plays. I was like, "What's up, Mikey?" I was like, "What's up, Pai Pai?" So we're all excited for this game. My brothers told me they'd buy me a TV if I rushed over 100 yards in that game. And then fifth play of the game, I break my arm right at the goal line, and I stood up. I was like, "Damn, that kind of hurt." And I tried to fix my face mask, like just readjust my helmet, and my hand wasn't there. It was like,
Oh, it was like dislocated.
no, it was broken right in the middle between my forearm and my wrist.
Oh,
So it was like a 90-degree angle.
yeah. Oh, I mean, like it was like snap, like
Yeah,
like you
fully
could
snapped
see it,
both
like
bones. Yeah,
oh,
I mean, it didn't break the skin, but yeah,
yeah.
And so the next week, I'm sitting at home on the couch, just had surgery, and I'm watching my backup, whose name is Jamal Williams.
That was your backup?
Yeah, I mean, he was a freshman, but like we already knew he was special when he first came
Oh,
in.
what?
I was like, dang, like this kid is legit. Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
love
definitely
him.
going to be sharing time with him pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't expecting to have a season-ending injury, but he comes in and he starts tearing it up, right? And he's in the league now, if you don't know who he is.
What the heck? I didn't know he was BYU.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a BYU guy.
He, for sure, but he was actually a BYU guy, because a lot of players will come to BYU so that they can focus on football.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're not,
like no distractions.
yeah,
right?
they're not religious, but they see the benefit of being at a religious
I
institution
see.
where, it's like the stone cold sober #1 school in the
Yeah.
nation. And so they like that aspect
Oh,
of
okay.
it.
He just went there so he could just watch anime all day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And not feel weird about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. Yeah, he's way into that stuff. But yeah, so I'm watching him just tear it up. And meanwhile, my dad says, I was praying that something would humble you. And I'm devastated. My heart's broken. I'm battling with like, how does God even operate if every time I pray, I'm praying for health and safety and that I can, achieve my goals. And my dad is like praying for my downfall. Like I didn't know how to even register.
How do you respond to that, right?
Yeah. I was just very hurt. And so I got mad and used that as drive to come back for the next season. Come back in the next season, I put on like 15 pounds of muscle. I was the most fit I'd ever been in college. And going into that season, I was pushing myself so hard that I ended up tearing my groin right before the season started. Could like barely even walk. And we try to like wrap it and tape it and I play a few games and then end up redshirting that season as well. So that was the back-to-back seasons. And then after, I mean, there's so much to the story, but I'll just keep it short.
No, tell it. Share.
Well,
this is the time to share.
I didn't even think that I would be able to jog again without excruciating pain. And so we ended up doing like 3 PRP injections. That's when they draw your blood and spin it in a machine to separate the plasma.
I hear a lot about it now, and I looked into that as well because I'm doing peptides. But
oh yeah, I believe in peptides more than PRP.
Oh, PRP, okay.
Yeah, the idea with PRP is that they'll inject the plasma into the injured spot, and that the plasma will call more red blood cells into the area to help repair it. And I was getting plasma the size of a tennis ball injected into my groin. to try to
Oh my
heal
gosh, it sounds
this
so
groin
sore.
tear. Yeah, so you feel like immense pressure there for like a week until it like slowly starts to go away. So we tried that 3 times, nothing worked. And then I actually had a sports hernia surgery that I don't think I even needed. I think the doctor was like, let's just try this out. So I get a mesh put in there. It's still in there. Nothing.
What is that, a mesh?
They take they put like a mesh that connects your abdomen muscles with your lower groin muscles. So thinking that that'll repair a tear, but I don't even think that was where the tear was.
Oh,
Because he did that and nothing changed.
okay.
So, but each time you do this, you're pushing out like your recovery, and so like your inability to even move around.
Yeah.
And then, what was the last thing we did? Oh, then one of my trainers had this idea like, let's try this. It's a new procedure. It's called a 10X. It's like a vacuum needle. They do it up in Idaho. I'll drive you up. We'll get it done, and then we'll come back. So I'm up there with my trainer. Like, they have this vacuum needle up in my groin. I'm awake for the whole thing.
But this numbed.
They numbed it, yeah.
Okay, thank God.
And I'm feeling them like they're supposed to scrape the scar tissue off of the bone where the tear is. I don't know. Do that, come back from that, and going back into rehab, and still nothing's really changing. I still can't even jog without a lot of pain. And then I had a booster hit me up and said, hey, we didn't have peptides back then, but before peptides, it was HGH, it's human growth hormone. He's like, I'll give you 3 months of HGH, which is illegal in college. But I was so desperate.
Yeah,
I was just like, I needed this. And it was such a big part of my identity that I would do anything. And so I took HGH and did yoga for a whole summer. And came back for fall camp, and I was good.
Wow. So HH and yoga.
Yeah.
We got to write that in my notes.
So I healed my groin up. And then my senior year, tore my shoulder. I had my shoulder repaired like 3 times.
That's crazy.
From labral tears. But yeah, I just had so many surgeries.
Dang.
Yeah.
So by your senior, you moved to defense. Was that it?
Yeah. I felt like I kind of lost a step. Plus, by now, Jamal was a junior. And was he a junior? Yeah, because I had 2 red shirts. Yeah, so he was a junior and had gotten even better. And I was like, "Okay, I want to start. So let's go back to linebacker," which I played through high school and my freshman year in college. So I did that.
Nice. And then you said on the phone last night, Taysom was the quarterback, right?
At the end of my career.
At the end of your career.
Yeah, I had like 5 quarterbacks while I was at BYU.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know Taysom and Jamal played on the same team in college.
Oh yeah, they were the duo.
I'm a Saints fan, so
yeah.
I
Jamal would have had more rushing yards had Taysom not been the quarterback, because we did like the right option and Taysom never gave it.
I love Taysom.
He's so good.
Every single one of my fantasy leagues this year, I drafted him at the end as tight end.
Oh, smart.
Yeah,
just to get all the points.
I'm just like, I mean, he's gonna take reps at quarterback, he's gonna take reps at receiver, and he's basically free in all the drafts. And it worked out until he got hurt. He had a couple concussions, and then he something else, his back, or I forget, ribs, I think, or something.
Such a bonus.
But yeah,
and he plays like reckless
he's
abandonment.
such a fun player to watch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of my career, I was like already realizing that football wasn't going to be my vehicle to like ride off in the sunset with. And so I lined up a job with a startup, and I start working there, and I get a call from the Jaguars to come to their camp. And I didn't even do pro day or anything like that because my body was still banged up. Like I'd just gotten surgery right after the season. They're like, will you come out and do camp with us? Which if they're calling you like that, then they need more bodies, and like maybe they would give you a shot, but it's more just like they want good bodies to practice against.
Okay.
And then they'll start to whittle that number down to the 52-man roster.
Yeah.
But even then, I was a little tempted just to go put on a helmet and like have a little taste of what my dream was. But I was just.
So you didn't end up going?
Yeah, I think by then I was already like, you know what, like I'm kind of now football kind of makes me sad. I don't know if I want to even do that.
Yeah, it's like what could have been.
Yeah, so it was hard for me to even watch football for a while.
Wow.
Now I enjoy it. But
what's your prediction for the Super Bowl? This will come out a week after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Eagles on this one. I've just seen too much. I've seen too much with the Chiefs and the refs. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's just a lot.
No, I agree. My take, Chiefs are gonna win, and just because I'm not a Chiefs fan, it's just watching every single game this season. I do not know how they win, because if it's not the refs, it's like a blocked field goal, a muffed snap, like something weird happens a missed field goal. Even when something weird happens for them, hits the post, goes in on a field goal. Like the weirdest. This has been like the weirdest season for them ever, and somehow they always win.
Well, yeah, I've seen compilations. I'm sure you've seen these too of like missed calls. And
the roughing the passer calls against the Texans. Like
the third and long call when they throw an incompletion and then there's a late whistle, like, oh, we stopped the play before you guys hiked it. So we got to replay that third down.
Even the last game, there's a flag at the end of the play, and then they just like never. I don't know what happened to it. Like,
oh, they just picked it up.
I don't know. Yeah, on the screen it said flag, and then it just like ended the game. Yeah, so weird. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are gonna win just because I think they want to see the three-peat.
I see that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
but I just want a good game. That's what I'm hoping for.
Same.
Yeah, Saints will be back in it soon enough.
Oh, that's your team?
Yeah, that's my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I like Taysom Hill and Jamal. And I like Jamal Williams before just because he's like a quirky personality.
Oh, yeah. He was like that at BYU
really?
too. Yeah, everyone loved him. Fan favorite. Yeah, man.